Awesome. All right, how's it going, guys? This is Trei Hill, and this is a new episode of the new Filmosophy. And today we have the pleasure of having with us today stunt performer, Mr. Branden Arnold.
Hey guys. Hey guys.
Thanks for joining me, man. I'm looking forward to the discussion. Today we're going to be breaking down the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers 1995 edition. Yeah, man. And Brandon, I know you can talk real quick because I know that we actually met last year at the Georgia Shorts Film Festival, and you directed and wrote and did the fight choreography and acted in a movie that did very well. It was awesome, man. So, and I also know that you recreated the Power Rangers in a film as well. Did you want to discuss your filmmaking endeavors?
So the first film that was entered into the film festival, that was called The Mission, and directed by Terry Wilson. Bridget Bentley wrote the script. Well, we collaborated on writing the script, and that was a fun little project. That was like my first introduction to like doing my own projects, you know.
Gotcha. Okay. And
then from there, I started making smaller projects, and then I knew I wanted to do Power Rangers, you know. So we shot Power Rangers last year, directed by Ty Hunt, DP Terry Wilson, and Marquise Zor. Gotcha. And that was a fun project. It was a lot to do, it was a lot to handle, but we got through it, and that was one of the best projects I ever made.
Word, man. No, that was awesome, man. That was a lot of fun to watch. Appreciate it. You know, it's nostalgia for us, you know, for our generation, you know. And
absolutely.
I love that he's rocking the prop, man. He's got the Green Ranger, Dragon Zord, Morphin. Is that the Morpher? Is that what it's called? I forgot what it's called now.
It's called the Morpher.
Yeah.
Power. Yeah, man.
That's epic, man. You see, I had to represent the Black Ranger, you know what I'm saying?
Walter Jones, I got you. Zach.
Yeah, man. Yeah. And which I guess in this by the time the movie came out, that ended up being the Asian gentleman, I guess, Adam.
Johnny Young Bosch.
Yeah.
Adam.
Yeah, man. And I was reading up on that whole thing when they ended up getting rid of or replacing 3 of the Rangers, and it was really it was just a money thing. They were asking for money, and they just weren't. They didn't want to bend. So the other 3, they said that then when they brought the other 3 in, that they were like, hey, so we're going to shoot some more episodes, but we're going to shut down the production for the show for a bit and go knock this movie out. So they already knew about the movie as they were getting brought in. So it's like, yeah, man, they weren't playing, man.
It wasn't, not at all.
Yeah, man, that's cool. But yeah, so I run down just a few chores just to get a feel of just your you know, how you got into the industry. Everybody can see how you got into the industry and what your favorite films are. So you are by trade, you're a stunt performer. Any favorite movies that you've worked on or shows that you had the opportunity to work on?
Yeah, man. So my first gig into the industry was Avengers: Infinity War back in 2017. That was like my first big break in the industry. I'm also an actor too. I act as well. That's like the main goal for me right now, is just to get my name out there as an actor. Nice. You know. But from there, from Avengers, I also did Avengers Endgame and Black Panther. So a lot of Marvel stuff. And I just stuck to training, meeting new people, networking, and just word to mouth. And that's how I was continue booking gigs and you know, just getting work. You know,
it's beautiful, man. Are you from Atlanta?
Born and raised. Yep.
Wow.
Georgia. Yep. Straight up.
Yeah, man. That's what's up. Yeah, all right. So one question I always ask everybody, and you know, there's no right or wrong answer to this. What is your filmosophy?
my filmosophy. Explain that for me. Like,
right. Mm-hmm. So the name of this show is called The New Filmosophy. So first of all, I made the word up, right? So
gotcha. What is that? I'm not really sure.
Right. Yeah. Well, for me, when I talk with guests, the whole purpose of the show is, when you watch a movie, just growing up, when you watch the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, and then you went with your buddies and you guys talked about it for 2-3 hours and like copied the fight moves and all of that stuff like that, trying to recreate that essence, right? Like we're just gonna sit here and talk about our favorite movie. So when I say what's your filmosophy, it's more or less what's your version of that experience with cinema.
Growing up, so Power Rangers really impact my life. So did Ninja Turtles and also The Matrix.
Yeah, man.
Those films, I just knew I wanted to be a part of that world. Growing up, watching even Mission Impossible, Keanu Reeves, Tom Cruise, Will Smith, those are like my three big action stars that I love a lot. Mm-hmm. And I just didn't know how to get there. So I would be so fascinated with watching the behind the scenes, especially with The Matrix. Like I had the VHS, the first Matrix movie, mm-hmm. and after the credits roll, they will show like the making of the Matrix. You see all the stunt works, the wire works. I'm like, man, I want to learn how to do that. Right. I want to be part of that world. So, from a kid to now, no martial arts training. I pretty much learned all my skills through stunt workshops, learn all the basics, how to punch the camera, how to kick properly, learning how to do acrobatic movements and learning how to fight for film and also acting. And I knew I had goals, because I just want to make it, you know what I'm saying? I want to create my own films. And when it came to Power Rangers, I knew I wanted to be the Green Ranger because my dad, the first tape that introduced me to the Power Rangers was the Green Ranger tape. That was the first ever, visual I had of Power Rangers. So I knew it's full circle. I had to become the Green Ranger. You know what I'm saying? I had to create my own film. So that's how I got started. That's how I did it.
That's beautiful, man. I love hearing that. And even in the comics, man, like the Green Ranger is nothing to play with. No one will ever in that time. No one will ever forget the episode when they all hopped inside of the Zord, and then the Green Ranger just looked up and was like, hopped up inside the Zord, bop, 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 whooped up each and every one of them like it was nothing, man. Like just on another level.
Yeah, man, he was, Jason David Frank, he's the most popular, he's the face of Power Rangers pretty much.
Yeah.
And the Green Ranger, when he came out, he was, he was a destroyer. Like, you could not touch him. He was the best fighter. He looked cool. You know what I mean? And I knew that I wanted to become the Green Ranger, just from watching Jason David Frank, because he was cool. He was awesome.
Yeah, man. I love that. I love hearing that, man. So, do you have a VHS that you still own, or maybe can you recall the last VHS you might have popped in?
Dude, I don't even have DVDs or Blu-rays. I have nothing. Everything's streaming now, so it's on YouTube, whatever. Yeah. If I can recall, what? I know it wasn't Power Rangers. That's for sure. It might have been The Matrix, and this movie called you might laugh at me for this, Head Over Heels with Freddie Prinze Jr.
Oh, the rom-com.
Yeah.
I ain't mad at that, man. I'm a big rom-com fan, man. I don't knock the hustle, man.
Yeah, man. It was just something about that film. It was he was a cop, and then these models living together. It was a fun film, you know what I mean? So it was cute. So I think The Matrix in that movie. So the last VHS movie I popped in was those two.
That's dope. Matrix is a classic, man. That'll forever be a classic. And
Absolutely.
I actually think if I tried to look around, I feel like the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers VHS, that might be one of the last VHSs that I did hold on to it, that I had when I was young. I'd have to snoop around. Maybe in like my grandma's storage or something. Your grandma has like storage that's way too old. At least mine
Yeah.
was.
You know what? Now since I'm getting older, I'm starting to collect, little pop up Funko Pops, little morphers, little figurines, just for memorabilia. Because I wish I would have kept those tapes now.
Right.
All the tapes I had back in the day. And I probably still do. They're at my parents' house, so if I search for them, I find them somewhere. But yeah.
Right. Yeah,
Yeah.
man. Yeah, man. It's
Those
cool.
memories.
And I really appreciate you having us watch this film and do this episode, because watching the film, very similar. I did an episode with a friend of mine. We did the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2.
Yeah.
And very similar to that, where I was watching it and I was like, man, there's nothing like our 90s childhood. I think, and everybody can say that about their development, about their childhood. Every generation can say that. But I was just thinking about how they try to reboot all of our pop culture, everything that was so cool back at our time. When they try to reboot it, I think that it was just a campier time. It was just it was a more innocent time where you can't really, you can't Dark Knight the Power Rangers, right? You can't like the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers is camp. It is kind of that innocence, right?
But you know what, bro? So that's what we was trying to aim for. We wanted to blend in, keep the original essence of Power Rangers, but then also make it a little bit more mature.
Right. Yeah, man.
But not trying to overdo it. There's a bootleg Power Ranger films by Adi Shankar. If I'm pronouncing his name right, he it's called Bootleg Power Rangers or Power Rangers, and that was a gritty take on Power Rangers. It was cool,
right?
Jason David Frank, he didn't like it too much. He said, "Hey, just keep it, where it's at, the essence for the kids, But we made sure our film was a blend of both, just a little bit more mature for the older audience, and then still keep it cool for the younger audience,
Yeah, man, that's beautiful. Yeah. That's beautiful to hear. That's dope. And where can we check it out? Is there anywhere do you want to let people know that they can check it out? Is it viewable yet? Streamable yet?
Absolutely. You can check it out on YouTube. You need to type in Light Hawk, or you just type in Power Rangers Resurgence. It's on the Light Hawk's page. Yeah, that's production team. Yeah.
Power Rangers Resurgence. That's right.
Yeah.
Yep. Awesome, man. That's beautiful. Cool. And so, what is the last movie that you saw at the theater?
Mortal Kombat.
Oh, you went and saw it there?
I did.
Yeah, did you enjoy it?
It was fun. It was fun. It was cool. He's
trying to. It's like what Mama say. If you ain't got nothing nice to say.
No. Don't get me wrong. Right. It was a fun movie. They did everything they could to please the fans, so they did a good job. That was their mission, to please the fans. Okay, we got past part 1. Let's move on to part 2 and make it even better. So they did what they had to do. So they did a good job. It was cool.
Right. Yeah. Do you know where they shot that?
Australia.
Oh, okay. Cool. Yeah. I was it didn't seem like it was in this country. All right. Yeah.
Nah, not at all.
Right. Yeah, man. I mean, I felt like they were saying a whole lot about the fight choreography, and with, Sub-Zero and Scorpion, those actors, they're so awesome at this point. I think that those fight scenes were pretty awesome between them. But I did see that. I felt like that's exactly where they cut. That if there was any, I felt like the effort could have been put in more in the fight scenes. But hey, that's not
Sub-Zero was the best part of the movie to me. He was dope. Scorpion was cool. I mean, it was just a lot they had to do, man. It was a lot they had to do. So they couldn't really tackle everybody. They just made sure we need to get these references or little Easter eggs to make it please the fans.
Right.
Once they did that, that was their goal. I promise you, that was their goal.
Yeah.
They made their money. It was a mixed bag on reviews, but hey, WB is satisfied for what they did. Now they can move on to part 2. I'm telling you.
Yeah,
so I'm saying, yeah.
And I also felt like they could have used a lot of that runtime to just make one of the main characters from the video game one of the main character of the movie. Because I mean, how much of us really cared about Cole? I think it was wise of them to connect his lineage to Scorpion, but I just thought that runtime could have been better used following one of the lead characters like Johnny Cage or Liu Kang or somebody. But
I don't know why people like Johnny Cage so much. I don't get it, but
that's how the Mortal Kombat came into fruition. Was Jean-Claude Van Damme. He was hard to work with while they were trying to make his video game, and so they just turned him into Johnny Cage and just created all those other characters around it.
I don't know much the behind the scenes of Mortal Kombat lore. I just know it's just a nostalgia feeling from watching the first 2 movies. Yeah. And Liu Kang in the first one, the originals, he was a beast.
Right.
He was a beast.
Right.
If anything should have been changed, I feel like I wanted that they should have gave Liu Kang a little bit more to do. That's just my thing. Yeah. And I like Kung Lao. I wish I could see more of Kung Lao. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man. Yeah, I wanted to see more of him too. But that's cool, man. So this is a tough question, but what could you say is your favorite movie?
My favorite movie? God, so many. God,
you just said a lot about The Matrix.
I mean, The Matrix really impact my life, man. Like I just because I never seen that before. Nobody had. That bullet time effects, the kung fu, because The Matrix changed the game for a lot of movies, man. When it comes to choreography, they changed the game. So,
for action, sci-fi, yeah, man.
It's The Matrix, man. I believe it's just The Matrix.
I hear you.
I like Bad Boys. I like Men in Black. Will Smith. I love Will Smith. First of all,
Willpower. Will's the man.
Will's the man, bro. Like again, the '90s era. It's just the best era in the world to me.
Right.
Like, everybody was shining. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So.
Yeah, I think that the blockbuster system was at its apex in the '90s. I think that anytime after, especially once social media really hit, it's really hard to get a grasp on what pop culture is. By then in the '90s, we were all watching the same shows at the same time, and we were watching the same celebrities. So I think that all that synergy that we all kind of held, that was like nationally known. We all knew who the Power Rangers were, who the Ninja Turtles were. We all sat down at the same time essentially and watched each episode and watched Will Smith and watched each, and I just think that those it was just a unique time, man. It was definitely a unique time.
It was definitely it was special, because even back then, like when you saw an actor on a poster, there was no social media telling you to go see this movie. The actor's name got you in those seats.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Will Smith coming out with a movie next summer. Ooh, Will Smith, bet I gotta go watch it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So the names of the stars, they have star power. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Exactly.
But now it's like in today's age, you kind of like everybody's a star, really. Because you get to see what everybody's doing in their life. You know what I mean?
Right.
Which is cool. I like looking at Will Smith's webisodes online. I get to see deep what he's been up to.
Right.
So, but back then, it was a mystery about him. So you want to see what was coming next. You was just anticipating what was next, and that's what we don't really have today now. Because we already know what's coming.
Right. Right.
So
Yeah, man. Yeah. It's just, the art form is just taking the next level in its trajectory, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Right. So, all right. So we have the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers by Brian Spicer. The director, I guess his only experience before was just a couple of kids shows. This was all powered by Saban and the surprise hit that was the first season of the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. They were like, they saw that they had something hot. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles was doing their thing, and they were like, "Hey, man, we need to get up on this thing while it's hot, right?" So, Saban just put Viacom. They put all their eggs into making the film, and to the right, to the point that they didn't even worry about the cast wanting more money. They were just like, "Hey, look, this thing is big. If you want to keep coming for the ride, then hop on. If not, we're going to replace you, and this thing is going to keep going." And they were right.
Yeah.
I mean, I miss the original crew, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, they were too big to fail at that point, you know.
Yeah, definitely.
So yeah, go ahead.
Power Rangers was a huge successful hit back in the 90s, man.
Yeah, man.
Now at the time, staying in Georgia. I mean, I was in Georgia, but they had like a huge event out in LA. Mm-hmm. You look at past interviews from the Rangers. They streets were shut down. Mm-hmm. Traffic. It was, man, kids just loved the power. I mean, we just never seen it before. You got cool kids in cool suits and colors. It was just amazing, doing martial arts and killing monsters every week.
Right,
man. Like, you got me. I'm sold.
Right. Yeah, it's amazing what you can do with a little bit of Japanese stock footage, right? And some,
that's right. Yeah,
some underpaid teenage actors, right? Mm-hmm. They made it work, man. No, I mean that was our childhood. It was beautiful. So it opens up in their skydiving, and I love that allegory just because of how fun-loving and free that whole endeavor is, and that's really what the Power Rangers was originally back then. It was always supposed to just be this free sort of they're like these obnoxiously happy all the time teenagers that wear the same color as their Zord.
Carefree.
Right. Yeah. It's like they're rollerblading around with the same colors associated to the Power Rangers.
That was cool to me. That was really cool. I love the rollerblade. The whole beginning is just, man, it just makes you feel good,
Yeah, man.
They're always hanging out, doing some cool stuff, just being active with each other.
Right.
Right. And then you get that first call from Zord on it. Zord.
Right. Hold up. Hold up. Let's go over here real quick.
I love it.
Yeah, man, that junk was dope, man. Yeah, man. So, and then they have Bulk and Skull that was with them up in the plane. I'm like Bulk and Skull, they wanted to hang out with them so bad. Like, they was teasing them, but they wish they was cool so bad. You know what I'm saying?
I think so. I feel like I haven't seen the episodes in so long, but I think they were the original bullies. Mm-hmm. And then sort of like had a character development and it started like wanted to be the part of the crew now. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because along with the Power Rangers, they were huge too, Bulk and Skull. You know what I'm saying? You can't do Power Rangers without them. So, their characters sort of like changed a little bit. You know what I mean? They wanted to be cool, right? And they were great too. They were funny,
right?
Yeah,
they were, man. Yeah, they had their own little swag, man. And yeah, it was like this playful bullying. It wasn't, and then it was just they were the bad guys. They were the antagonists. It was just right. So it was just all playful. It wasn't as much as about the bullying. The anti-bullying campaigning that goes on to this point. Where I don't even know if those characters would have survived at this point, but. It was more or less but it was more or less like the yin to the yang, right?
Mm-hmm. Correct.
Excuse me, guys, for clearing my throat all this time. But yeah, so they do this benefit. That's the whole reason for the sky jump. It was a benefit for Ryan's comet research, and you know they go rollerblading, and Bulk and Skull, they land inside of a construction site where they're about to unveil the egg
Ivan
where
Ooze.
Ivan Ooze lies. See, now here we go again. This is us, you know, digging stuff up. You know, the city digging stuff up. They ain't got no
Right.
business digging up,
No business.
cracking open some evil. See,
Right.
yeah, man. And then, excuse me. So the Zordon hits him up, doop 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 doop, while they
Correct.
was just rollerblading,
Right.
doing their thing,
Yeah,
living
yeah.
their life, and then you
Right.
know they get the call. So Zordon comes through. They go over to Zordon's spot. He explains that the 6,000-year-old Ivan Ooze and two giant machines are gonna come, and they're super evil. They're that, and that's what you got to understand about evil here in the Power Rangers world. They're evil because they're evil. All right, they want to do
That's
evil
it.
things. You need
They,
not ask anymore.
no questions.
Right.
Yeah.
So from the show, Lord Zed and Rita Repulsa, the villains, they come down to the egg, to the Ivan Ooze egg, and they're like, "Oh, we're so evil, and he's evil. Well, unleash his evil so that the evil can combine, right?
Right. And take over.
Right? You
Exactly.
know what I'm saying?
Right.
So they unleash Ivan Ooze. They're like, "Yo, you remember Zordon?" And he's like, "Ah, yeah." He's like, "I hate him." They're like,
Right. That was funny. That was cool. He was funny. Ivan Ooze was cool in the movie. I loved him as a
yeah,
villain.
man. Paul Freeman was the actor, this
Paul
older
Freeman.
UK actor, and he had a lot of fun with that role,
He
man.
did. He did.
Like
Yeah, absolutely he did.
teenagers. I realize a lot of one-liners that I say to this day are from this era of movies. And when he was like, "Inconceivable, it's the power rate," I say inconceivable all the time to this day.
Yeah, man.
Right.
The Power Rangers, they educated you in
Right.
language and
They give you them
vocabulary.
bars. They give you them
Right.
bars. So
Right.
that's how he got the kids later on when Ivan had to hypnotize Angel Grove
Yeah.
with the ooze. So yeah, get the parents to get the exoskeletons out of the ground.
Yep.
That's how he dressed up as the wizard, and he was spitting the game. He was spitting those bars to the
It was,
kids.
bro.
You just can't lose. Bars
I
and
love
bars.
it.
Ivan Ooze, drop the mic.
You know what? So when that happened, so the fight scene in the construction, part, I love that fight scene a lot.
Who were they fighting first? Oh yeah, that was like the little characters that Ivan created, right? Like
Yeah,
the
little
right?
ooze monsters.
Right?
You know
Yeah, the ooze monsters. Yeah.
Man, that scene right there is so much fun. I love the music in the background. Action boy now.
Yeah.
Action boy now, man.
You
And then
lose,
for
you
the
lose.
actors, I love how they were just able to do their own stunts, do their own acrobatics, do their own choreography. It's refreshing seeing that. You know, even going back and just seeing that scene, it's like, dang, these people are moving.
Word.
You know, these are real martial artists, real gymnasts. You know, dancers, whatever. They have skills.
Right.
You know, and I think for me, that's what the 2017 version lacked. I mean, the story was great. You know what I'm saying? The teen drama, everybody had issues.
Right.
But if you're doing Power Rangers, you gotta fight, man. You gotta do it right. You know, you gotta do the cheesy flips and all that good stuff. I want to see the actors, you know, do the movements.
Word.
You know, that's what gets me excited. You know, that's what keep the illusion going. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So
I agree.
That's why
100%.
I feel like the original reigns supreme because of that right there. You know, so that's my take on that.
I'm so glad hearing this from an actual fight choreographer because I was so impressed. I thought that watching this, I was like, I don't even know if fight scenes are as good or today. You know, I feel like a lot of those fight scenes could compare to today. I mean, because they're there, it's the actors themselves, and they're not cutting away. You know, I was just talking about when we were talking about Mortal Kombat. There's a lot of shots, you like, especially me being a thrifty filmmaker, sometimes I can tell when, I think that our in our craft we can transcend, capabilities when we take a task that's difficult and we conquer it. Or we can just try to hide and try to mask it, and we'll do what somebody else has probably already done, right? And I think that those are the two different things we can kind of choose to do as filmmakers. And I can tell in fight choreography, and it's hard to do, especially because there's already been so many awesome things that evolutionized the industry. But I always say that, man, it gets really easy, especially with things like fight choreography and VFX. It gets really easy to try to do the easy thing instead of stay there, press the red button, and practice the choreography and do it right, show it right, and do it in all of its amazement. And I saw that, like, they weren't cutting away. I mean, that, like, they were really there fighting the people, and they were turning into goo. They were using special effects and stuff to turn them into goo, really, and instead of using the VFX. And yeah, man, shout out to them.
I mean, again, you believe that it was them inside the suits. Of course, it wasn't them. Those were the stunt doubles, but you believe they were doing the movements.
Right.
It's a formula. They fight the bad guys without the suits. They're holding their own for a short amount of time. Right. And then when they transform to the suits, they're beasts now.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But their movements translates over to the suits. So you believe everything is going on.
Huh. Wow, that's crazy.
That's why I like the original, man. I'm
sorry to cut you off. So then, man, you just had me realize something. So what you're saying is that the stunt double that was in the suit had the same style of fighting as the actor.
Well, yes and no. But right. I believe for those actors, I mean, Jason David Frank, he's a martial artist, a real one. Right. So the stunt double, he's also a martial artist. I don't know his name, but whoever was in that the White Ranger suit, they both got similar moves. Gotcha. For the Black Ranger, for Walter Jones, he was a dancer. Right. So whoever that stunt person was behind the suit, they had to know mimic his movements. So they'll work together. Right. They'll collab and say, "Hey, I'll do something like this, whatever," and it would translate in the suit.
Word.
You know what I mean?
Word. That's what's up, man. Shout out. Excuse me. All right. So now, they are whooping up in the first scene. They turn into the Power Rangers, and they got the new shiny movie suits.
Practical suits.
Yeah. Those were dope, man. Those were dope. And then meanwhile, Ivan Ooze, he goes to Zordon's palace. And he just wrecks shop. He destroys it all. And then I love how when they were inside, when they were fighting the ooze monsters, they had all these new, like, Aisha activates her power beam.
Yeah.
The light go on, and then what is it? Then Rocky, he activates the power scanner.
Yeah, that was dope.
Yeah, man. And so, just to sprinkle a little bit of, a little spice onto the movie version, right?
I wish, because every time you see Power Rangers, when they sell merchandise, you see them with their weapons. Right. I wish they would have, had their weapons in the movie. Just utilize their weapons more. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The only one that really killed it was the White Ranger. He had his little tiger sword or whatever.
Yeah. What was his name? I forgot his name. But yeah, I was thinking that
Saba?
Yeah, Saba, that was it. Yeah. I was thinking that very similar to the same trouble that the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles would get in. They could not use their weapons on screen. In the cartoon or in the movies, they couldn't use them because it would be too violent.
Yeah.
Weapons. So I feel like that maybe they fell back on the weapons just for that. Pop a pill
Okay.
to it, right?
Okay, yeah. You may
But
be right
yeah,
about that.
and
Yeah.
and I love all their trash talk while they're fighting. It's very reminiscent of me. One to Spider-Man, the Spider-Man comics, of course.
Deadpool. Yeah.
Right? Yes, Deadpool. Of course,
Mm-hmm.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. But then listening to all the karate noises, the oh yeah, it made me think of Bruce Lee. Honestly.
Yeah. Jason David Frank, man, he had that battle cry.
Yeah.
That was just stuck in my head for forever. Oh man, what? Yeah. Every time I heard that, I'm like, yo, Jason Frank, he is in it. And he loves it, man. I love his energy.
Yeah, man.
I mean, everybody else did a great job too, but like his battle cry was like, yo. And Austin St. John, he had like a deep voice too, the original Red Ranger.
Right. Mm-hmm.
He was the leader. He had like a deep voice and he killed it too. So, but that Tommy, man, that battle cry,
he was feeling himself. Yeah, man.
I was feeling it, bro.
Yeah,
I
man.
love it.
They all had crazy energy though, man. Like obnoxious energy. Like if you were like, I could see if they went to your high school, like why are they always happy? Like their parents take good care of them or something.
Right.
They
exactly.
got both their parents.
Right. And we never really, again, with the original. I'm sorry, with the reboot Power Rangers. They fleshed out the characters more. You saw who their parents were. You saw you saw their issues. You know what I mean? Great story.
Yeah, I enjoyed it.
You didn't really see their parents though. You know what I mean?
Right.
Which is fine. We didn't really care about the parents anyway. It was all about the action. So.
Right. And they did need to make it realer, because that's what I was saying. It's a different era now. You had to do something different. Because these kids aren't as innocent as we were.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. Right? It's changed, man.
Yeah, man. So then Alpha. Oh man, am I saying his name right?
Alpha 5. Yeah.
Alpha 5. Yeah, man. Alfalfa. That's the Little Rascals, right?
Yeah, Alpha. Yeah.
But so Alpha, they go back, and there's tears, there's emotions, because the homie Zordon, he's down and out, man. My dog is getting old. He's out of his age bubble. So he's getting all old. He's turning into the thousands of years old that he actually is.
Yep.
And in the middle of the fight, or after the fight, thank goodness, that's when all their powers evaporate. So they're like, yo, what's going on? And they actually got to walk. I'm glad that Zordon's palace isn't far away, because they couldn't even teleport. So
right.
They
got to travel on feet.
Right? There was no Uber in 95.
Right. Absolutely. That's funny. I didn't think about that. Yeah, that's funny. That's cool.
So, yeah.
And then they end up meeting, what's her name? The witch or the sorcerer.
Oh,
the sticks.
Oh, yes. Dulcia. Man, that actress was a rock, son.
Yeah.
She looked like she was like an Olympian, son. She was solid.
Back then when I saw it as a kid, I just looked at her as a warrior. Oh, she's cool.
Right.
Now looking back at it as a grown man, I'm like, damn, this woman is fun. Like,
right?
She is in shape. She's getting from behind. She's gorgeous.
Right.
Like, oh, I love it.
Right.
I love it. And then they had her
that
skinny outfit.
Right. And that's what I was thinking. I was like, was this PG? Because there's no way this would fly today. Right. There's no way that thing was covered up like lingerie.
Right. It would definitely be an issue nowadays, but back then it was safe.
But the thing is that I don't know. Maybe subconsciously, maybe it messed with us. But I didn't skip a beat. That wasn't even something that was like burned in my head. Like, her not wearing any clothes. Like, I was thinking more about the Power Rangers, right?
Right. Exactly. I mean, you're already in a world where you're fighting monsters. So like seeing a woman that's half naked isn't anything. That's normal. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Right.
So yeah, man, it was cool. She did her thing. I love it.
Yeah, man. So Alpha 5 tells them to go to her planet, basically, and that's where they can find the great power. And that when we go to conclude about this, I'm going to go back to the great power, because I think that's the reason why the Power Rangers was so important. And when they're the allegory of the great power. I'll get back to that. Gotcha. So they lost their power that Zordon gave them, and so in order to revive him and in order to become the Power Rangers again, they have to go back. They have to go to this dangerous planet. And Ivan Ooze sends those crows there to go and beat them up and to kill them. But then Dulcia comes. She and she puts her stick, swings her sticks around, and the sound or the whistling sound makes all the birds, the crows, fly away. So at first she's pissed off at them, like, you guys are going to get killed. You're trying to find the power. Everybody tries to get the great power, but they're not about that life. They all die. Right. The ground is littered with their bones. Damn. I would have been like, damn, okay, well, can we go back? No.
Right, exactly. What are we doing?
They're not littered. They littered? I mean, they're not like sparsely around, like littered.
Right. It was dangerous, man. It's a dangerous planet, man.
Yo,
they didn't know what it was in for.
No, they needed the great power, son. So Dulcia, when she finds out that it's all for Zordon, she's like, that's the homie from way back. All right. If he trusts y'all, then I'm gonna trust you. So she shows them the powers of the Ninjetti sacred animals, spirits. So they all get in a circle around the fire. And then they get their ninjetti on, and then the animals circle around them, and then they turn into some more merchandise for us to buy.
Pretty much. Some more merch. Exactly. Yep.
They put on the ninja outfits with the new frogs, all the new Zords that we're going to have to buy now.
Yep.
The frog, the falcon.
And I love the ninja suits. They look so cool.
Yeah, man.
I know from Johnny Young Bosch, that was an improv scene, I think. I'm a frog when he said that. Oh, man. And then she kissed him like a handsome prince. That was cool.
Right. You know, that's cool.
Yeah. So that was his story on that.
Yeah, I'm a frog. Little improv. Okay.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, yeah, because, you know, it was, I mean, compared to everybody else, I guess, right? The frog was could be a little downer, but he was wearing the black. The black outfit was always my favorite, man. Like even there's an episode where Zach wore the gold shield for Tommy once when he was the green, like, in order to save the day, and that's like my favorite episode because it's the black with the gold shield. You know, I'm like, yo, that's like my
dragon shield. Yeah, that's dope.
Yeah, man, that was my favorite outfit. But yeah, so let's see. So they go on the journey to find the great power now that they have the Ninjetti animal spirits. And then they come across the bones of the dinosaur that come and take them over, right? Or they come and attack them, right? And what I found interesting about this scene was that this was the version, like you said, there's the version of their fight scenes where it's the actors and you see their faces and they're barely holding on, and then there's when it's Morphin time, and then they're kicking butt, right? Well, this is, to me, the version of this whole scene was that version of the Rangers without their powers yet.
Yeah.
But they conquered it. Like Tommy ended up flipping and jumping over on top of him and pulling the bone out for him to fall. And they ended up winning with their wits, you know, and just their will. And I like that because it's to show that you don't need this magical power. Like, the power is in you, right? And not to be corny, but we got to be corny, man. This is
we got to be corny.
This is 1995, guys.
Right. I like that scene too. Again, you're seeing how acrobatic these actors are, you know, with the suits, and it's believable,
right?
You know, and the teamwork, and it was just a good scene, man. It's just it's a refreshing scene, seeing that again.
Word. And then let's see. So then they go to to the wall. Now at the same time, let's say that on Angel Grove, Ivan Ooze, he has put on the wizard suit like we said, and he sold the ooze to all the kids. The kids take the ooze to the house, and the ooze turns all the parents into they hypnotize them into digging out the exoskeletons. These exoskeletons, they're so big and they're so evil that they're going to destroy the entire city and then the world. So this is what's happening in the meantime, guys. And then we our homie Fred, the young bull that loves the Power Rangers. He's trying to figure out how to save the day in the meantime, right? That's what's happening on Earth, right? So now we go back up to our planet. I forgot the name of the planet, but we go back up and let's see. The crows come back. Oh yeah. Also, the crows come back and they say that they didn't kill the Rangers. They come back to Earth and they tell Ivan Ooze. They say, "Hey, we didn't kill the Rangers because of Dulcia." And so then Ivan Ooze gets pissed off and he kills the crows. All right. And then let's see. Yeah. And then Fred, our homie Fred, he tries to save his dad, but his dad is hypnotized. All right. And then all right. So yeah, we're good. Now we're caught up. All right, so they go to the Rangers go up to a wall.
The wall,
and that's where they see the rock people, right?
The rock creatures,
Yeah, and that was a nice fight scene too. Now, because now they turn into the Ninjetti. They put the mask over their face. They're Ninjetti warriors now. And he does. Like, they all do all sorts of dope moves, but then it all gets finished off with Tommy doing the corkscrew kick.
Corkscrew kick, yes.
Wow. Oh man, because you're doing that stunt, man. Do you know how they pull that off? Do you see that sometimes when you're watching stunts like that? Like, how do they do that?
I mean, he was definitely on the wire when he did it. But I'm not really sure how they had him doing it, because they have like some mechanics now that's new that probably wasn't. They probably didn't have it back then, so I'm not sure how they got him to spin that way. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, wire stuff. It was a good stunt though, for sure.
Right. Yeah, that's dope, man. That's dope. Yeah, that was definitely one of my favorite parts in the film.
Definitely.
So they kick the rock dude into the wall, and then that's what unlocks the wall, and there's sacred animals with the Great Pyramid with the great power.
Flows around them.
Yeah, all flow around them, going to their chest. The Power Rangers are back, baby.
They're back.
Then they teleport back to Earth. And then that is when Ivan Ooze and his exoskeletons are wrecking up shop like Godzilla and King Kong destroying the city. And then he sees those 5 colors coming down. And he goes, "Inconceivable." The Power Rangers.
That's what you want your new word. Inconceivable. Love it.
That was my word. That was my SAT word ever since then.
Right. That's hilarious, man.
Trying to impress the girls. They, in the club, that's inconceivable.
Right.
They don't know.
Exactly. Love it.
They don't know the whole time. That's bars straight from Ivan Ooze, bro.
Straight up, man. Straight up. You spit game already. Straight up. Love
it. Oh man. So they come down, and then of course these exoskeletons are too huge, right? So the Rangers, they gotta pull out again the new merchandise for us to buy.
Exactly.
And they gotta bring out the Frog Zord, the bear, the yellow bear, the falcon, the crane,
the frog, the wolf,
and the wolf.
Right.
So they come out. Go ahead.
About that, speaking of the merch, so my favorite was the falcon.
Word.
Because he did the most damage. When his wings came together, he had the missiles off the tips.
That's the famous shot, man.
Bruh, that was the money shot.
That was it.
Man. Like, he had the best attack. He had the best moves.
Right.
It's Tommy, bro. Like, everybody loves Tommy.
Word. And even Aisha, she got a little love. I'll never forget her line. It's time to boogie with the bear.
It's time to boogie with the bear. I love it. Oh my gosh.
She had the bars for him, man. So yeah, so the homie Tommy, he was out for a second, but then he comes back with the fatality. He just comes in with the Falcon, pop, pop,
right?
Pop, explodes. So then Ivan, he oozes himself into the other exoskeleton because he's like, all right, nah, we can't go out like that.
Right.
And then they turn into the new Megazord.
Right.
But Tommy's like, oh, hold up, y'all. The Falcon can't join y'all just yet. I gotta go save the kids over on the monorail.
On the train, right.
Because the monorail broke. And he comes down right as the train is coming, and then he just sits there so that the train can just go off on his back, because that's what Falcons do, son.
Exactly.
Y'all can hold your own. So they go over there. they got Ivan Ooze. They hold him. They maintain it.
Right.
But then with the ooze, you lose sometimes. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. Just for a second. For a second,
dog. So Ooze starts whooping him up. He grabs him and he throws the Megazord, and they down on their back and ain't looking good. But then Tommy comes swooping down with the Falcon, and then he latches onto their back, flies them on up. He's like, all right, let's get this right, man. Let's get this right. We're going to handle this. But Billy drops the knowledge on him. He's like, look, there is a comet coming. Remember from the beginning of the movie, the Ryan's comet or whatever is coming. It's on the way. Let's get them up in the trajectory, and then we be out, blow them on up. So then they grab them. They go up to space, and we forgot to say that Ivan Ooze ended up double crossing Rita and Lord Zed, because they just wasn't about that life. They weren't about that evil life like he was.
Right. It was too much for him.
So he just like Lord Zed tried to zap him up because he came in and sat on the throne real like on some Killmonger, like some real disrespect. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And he was still there. Like, I'm sorry. You gonna have to kill me, bro. You can't just be sitting on my throne like that, son.
Exactly. Then he turned to like a what things called?
He put them in the snow globe, man. Ivan Ooze put Lord Zed and Rita Repulsa in the snow globe.
The disrespect, bro.
So much disrespect. So they in the snow globe while the Megazord, Power Rangers, is fighting Ivan Ooze, trying to get him in the trajectory of the asteroid. And they're Go Rangers.
Oh yeah.
The enemy of my enemy is my friend, right?
Exactly. So that can happen.
So Aisha presses the red button, and they kick Ivan Ooze, or they knee him in the gonads.
They nut checked him. She kicked him in the nuts.
Thank you. I was trying to be pleasant about it. Bro.
She kicked him in the nuts.
It was a nut check, man. It was a nut check. It was the fatal nut check, because that's the one that gets him right into the asteroid. Boom.
Explosion. There it is.
Son. The Power Rangers live on. So they go back down to Angel Grove. They go back down to Zordon's palace, and Alpha 5 tells them, congratulations, guys, but it's too late. He's dead. And then it hurts, man. Like, the music is playing, and we crying, and then Tommy says, hold up, y'all. He said, we got the great power.
Yep.
And if we got the great power, we can do anything, bro. We can do anything, bro. Right. So they all join hands, and man, the power comes out of their chest, and they bring Zordon back to life. The powers come back together. It's better than ever. Mm-hmm. And they ready for the next villain that Rita and Lord Zed have to bring to them.
Yep.
They do the epic. They have the epic party with the Power Rangers fireworks.
Yep.
The epic 90s rock music, and it will that song. I knew that song as soon as it started playing. Like, it was just like it activated inside of me. Like,
it was a good feeling, man. It was a great feeling.
Right.
that scene right there, it made you just want to hang out with them for the rest of your life. For the rest of your life, it was just so cool, bro. 90s, man. Jeez, I love that.
Oh my gosh, right? Just the innocence, man.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing that I'll end just with my analysis of it all is what I said. I'll go back to power, right? And I think that our version of it in the 90s, whether or not you were a latchkey kid and you didn't see your parents a lot, or you had issues at home, or whether or not you were bullied, or whether or not you had your own mental or physical issues, that I think what really spoke to us when it came to the Power Rangers is just as corny as every other Saturday morning cartoon. It is those that felt like that they're powerless, that they don't feel like they don't have power, and they can watch this movie, they can watch the Power Rangers, and at any given time they can show that they can conquer whatever they're going through because they're together, because they have each other, and because they have Zordon, this father figure, and because they can reach down and grab the morpher and let a mother know at any given time it's Morphin time, y'all.
Exactly. I love it, man. That's dope. That's dope.
Yeah, man.
You're right.
What about you? What would be your last words on the film?
My last words on the film, it's just a nostalgic feeling. And what I like to see most is just teamwork, people coming together. When we make these movies, it's all about teamwork. It's not just one person like lifting a heavy load. It's about working together and just overcome these obstacles. Because it takes a lot of work to make a film.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, but that teamwork, man, anything is possible. Working together. So that's my last words on it. It's teamwork.
Word. That's beautiful. No, yeah, it's so true. Anything worth doing is a lot of effort. And with these films, especially in the independent realm, the Herculean effort it takes of a few people to just get together and give it their all, right? And just and really have that faith in each other that you're gonna pick up where I lack, and we're all gonna focus in on this one task, right? So yeah, I love that analogy of Power Rangers and filmmaking because it's so true, man.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, man.
I appreciate it, Branden. Thanks for hanging out, man. I know we've been talking about Lincoln for the longest, so thanks so much.
No, thank you, Trey, for having me, bro. I really appreciate it. Thank you, man.
Oh yeah. Are there any handles or any IG handles or anything that you want to social media that you want to let people know? Any new projects coming up?
Well, for social media, you can follow me on Facebook, Branden Arnold, my regular name, BRANDEN. My Instagram page is B_Arnold7. That's pretty much that's mostly where I put all my content on is Instagram. As far as new projects, I got some stuff in the works. Right now I'm just in a phase of just writing scripts. But I'm kind of busy at the same time, so I'm just trying to find the schedules and just the right time to film it. So yeah.
Awesome, man. That's beautiful. Well, I'll always let you know, man, when you're definitely up there whenever I'm thinking of collaborating. I can't wait for our big bad boys, Power Rangers, MCU. Yeah, man. It'll happen, man. Thanks so much, man. You make great work. I gotta watch the full Power Rangers Resurgence now. You got me excited to watch it now. All of us need to check it out on YouTube.
Please do.
And enjoy the rest of the day, man. We'll talk soon, okay?
You too, man. Thank you so much.
Thanks, my man. Peace out.
Holla.
Find all our content on thenewfilmosophy.com.